Today I'm going to be taking a look at some RC boats, test them out in my pool over here. And these boats came from a previous video where I kind of did a little bit of shopping at this like wholesale Amazon place, and they buy like the return packages and you can buy them super cheap. So we're going to try out some of these. Most of these were new in box. There's a few of them that were used. I will point those out to y'all, but let's take a look at what we got. So what we have here is an assortment of different boats. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different boats here. That top one right there, the green one right here, that one's actually from Five Below, but the other ones came from the Amazon returns. This one and this one are still new in box. This blue one over here is actually slightly used, and then we've got one more boat that's actually in that box there. What we're going to do is get these boats unboxed. I've already charged up the batteries for them, and we're going to test out each one of them one by one. The green one I'm probably going to leave it in the box because I've also got a red one that is still new that I've already unboxed and got batteries in, so we're going to try that one out first. Our first boat here is from Five Below. It's just a simple little RC boat. It takes 3 AA batteries on the inside. It does have a nice little seal on the lid here to keep water out of it. It's got 2 propellers on it, so whenever you go forward, both propellers go one direction. Whenever you turn, one goes one direction, the other one goes a different direction on it to create the turning for it. So let's get it into the pool and let's see what it does. In goes our first boat here. So with this little boat here, like I said, it's a cheap $5 boat, but for like a kid or something, this would be great for a pool, maybe even a large bathtub, probably at least a medium-sized pool like this. And it's good fun. I mean, it turns, it steers. It's not fast, even though the box says that it has super speed to it. It is not a fast boat whatsoever. The reverse does not work all that good. Look at that. It won't even back up, but it'll go forward. Not a fast boat. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I sat out here with my wife the other day, and I've got another one. We're probably going to take like a little boat race between me and her, instead of like a little obstacle course, maybe with some like floats and some weights in the water, and then see who does the best at it. Just good little fun for something small like this. It's fun for $5 from the store. It doesn't have any leakage onto the inside. It's really dry. So it is good fun. But what if you wanted to spend something a little bit more? Try to go with still a cheap boat, you know, nothing too expensive, nothing too insane. We're gonna jump up to right around the $40 range for the next boat, and we're gonna try it out. All right, so the next boat we have here is called the Shadow Storm. I found this on Amazon for about $39 is what they're going for. It's a pretty nice little boat. Let's open it up. So it's got a nice foam seal around it as well. And this is more kind of a traditional hobby grade style looking boat on the inside. So we got a motor, we got our shaft, a little servo here. It is a 3-wire servo. And then our controller box for our ESC and everything is up there. So it does look like it's pretty well sealed. I've already taken these and set them in a sink and dumped them down, and I don't see any water leakage on the inside. It has also got this rubber hose. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a rubber hose that goes in here and out over here. That is supposedly water cooling for the motor. And it's got this little scoop on the bottom right here for when the boat's going through the water goes in here and comes out the side over here to help keep that motor cool. We're gonna go ahead and get our battery installed. On the back, we've got our rudder, our propeller, and it comes with this little rubber piece on the front that you can either take off or leave on, and all that does is help it for if you bump into stuff, you're not gonna puncture things. That's the reason I have it on for this pool. And then the controller that it comes with is pretty basic. It's very light, kind of cheap feeling, but it does work. So for 40 bucks, it's not a bad deal. Let's go get this one in the pool and see what it does. All right, so here's our boat. Now the boat doesn't turn on until it's actually in the water. Then I can turn my controller on, make sure my rudder works. Oh, that one's got a lot more power to it. The reverse works better on that one. The turning kind of doesn't work all that great. So I'm constantly trying to turn this thing. I guess you got to have some good speed up for it to function. Ooh, it does get up with some speed though. This one's definitely going to be a little bit too big for a pull like this. Woo! Wow, that's got some speed to it. This one's definitely something I would take to like a small pond or maybe even a lake. I don't know what the distance is, but we may take it down to my little lake and see what the distance is on it. But it's got some speed, and the turning does get better once you get into the higher speed of it. It just doesn't do that well. Oops, stuck. It just doesn't do that well at low speeds on turning. You actually gotta gun it a little bit, and then you can get it to straighten out and actually turn like it's supposed to. There we go. That is the shuttle RC boat. I will have a link in the description down below to where you can go get this one off of Amazon. Now, if you see there, now that I've got it out of the water, the trigger doesn't work with it because it shuts it off. It only works once you put it in water, then it'll work. But there we go. That's the shuttle. Let's open up our next one and see what's going on with it. Our final and last boat that we have here is a mini series boat. It is a Atomic XS. I don't know how to say that name, so I'm just going to put it here. I will also have a link to this one. Now this one is a little bit smaller, and it's around $50 for this one. So I want to see if the performance in it is actually any better than what the other two boats are. I mean, we got a nice little controller here. I've got to go get some batteries for that. It does come with like a little boat stand as well. We're not going to use that. Much smaller than the Shadow Storm that we just tried. But let's open it up and look at the inside of it as well. Now this isn't the stock battery that comes with it, with this connector. It does come with a battery, but mine didn't because I did get it as a return. And generally, most of the return products that I've ever gotten that needed a battery, they pull the batteries out. So I still put the same size battery that it takes, but I had to use a different connector. So we're gonna get a battery in this one and then we'll test it out. But this one also is set up kind of hobby-ish. We got a nice little servo here. That is for our rear rudder. We've also got our motor sitting up here. Of course, that is for our propeller here. And it's got a little bit of water cooling to it. Not as elaborate as the Shadow Storm, but it's still there. So let me go grab a battery and then we'll test this one out. I think we're gonna take this one down to the lake with the other two, but let's get this one tested in the pool first. Just like the other ones, we're gonna throw it in. It doesn't turn on until you put it in the water. Ooh. Well, I can tell you this, that this one turns better at lower speeds. Wow. I'm kind of impressed with this, guys. Oh, it doesn't have a great turn that direction though. Yeah, it doesn't turn well that direction for some reason. Reverse kind of sucks just like the other ones. So it turns really well to the right, not so well to the left. But let's see if I can get it up to full trigger speed. All right, it's got some go to it. As long as you like going to the right only, you're good. Right or straight, that's about all it's got. For some reason, the left-hand turn is not all that good. Yeah, the left-hand turn just does not work. Let's take a look at that rudder real quick and see if we can make an adjustment. I mean, it moves almost the same amount. I feel like that servo might not be centered properly. And that might be giving some of the turn stuff, so you may have to make some adjustments right out of the box with it. I don't know which boat I would exactly recommend. Like the $50 one, the Atomic, it's good for like a pool, kind of like this size. The steering on it is the only thing I don't like about it. But the Shadow Storm has better turning capability, but it's a little bit too big for like a pool like that size. Of course, the $5 one is great for a kid. I would get that for, you know, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, something like that. Give them something to play with whenever they're in the pool or something like that. For $5, it's worth it. It works. It goes forwards, backwards, you know, it works. But the other two are the ones I'm more interested in. I kind of bought the $5 ones just kind of as a little bit of a joke. I plan to take them apart to modify a different boat, but I'll see that later. So let's do this. I want to take the Shadow Storm down to my lake real quick, and I want to see how it acts actually in the lake water. Also, I have a secret on one of the Shadow Storms. So this blue one that you saw right here in the very beginning of this has been modified by me just a little bit. As you can see, it was in used condition, and it didn't work all that well out of the box. Mostly because it looks like someone actually used this one quite a lot. So I'm trying to get this open so I can show y'all what I've done. So on the inside here, it looks pretty much like a stock one, except that I did put a slightly larger motor into it than what comes with it originally. And I also had to work with the servo a little bit over here to try to make it functional. So it's really just got a bigger motor in it, still running off the same LiPo, and I've also disconnected the LED lights to try to save some of the battery power in it. But we're going to take this one down there and see if it's any faster just with that simple motor upgrade that I did there. Let me get in my truck and I'll meet y'all down at the lake. Just got down here to the field and to my lake that I've got. So we're going to take the Shadow Storm out and see what it does in the lake. And I'm trying to determine if I want to see how far it'll reach. Because I really don't have a boat anymore, I don't think, to get out there and get it, but we'll see. All right, because I don't want to get down into the water, I'm just going to kind of chunk this guy out there. It's on. Let's see, can we see the boat? There's the boat. They're going full throttle there and fully turn. It takes a pretty wide circle. That's how it, see, it goes pretty sharp that way. Right hand turn, it's a little bit long and sweeping, but if you go left, you can make some quick turns. Look at that. And that is full trigger right there. Let's see if I can make it to the other side of the lake. Wow, that actually goes out a pretty good distance. There we go. So it looks like I need to adjust my rudder just a little bit. Oh, y'all are falling. So this is about a 2-acre lake here. And I'm going out pretty far in it. I don't want to lose the boat. Woo, there it goes. You see that sharp turn? Let's see how far out I can get it. All right, that's about half of the lake there. That's pretty good. I can still trim it to make it go straight. Just very sensitive on the trim. Oh yeah. Oh man, I almost flipped it upside down there. Oh man, look at it come in. Ooh. Oh yeah. That left-hand turn is very dangerous. So out of the 3 boats I've got, I would probably recommend the Shuttle, because honestly, for the price of it being around that $40 mark, it's fast, it works well, and honestly it's a little bit bigger. I like that more because I have a bigger area to play with it. Now, for the real young kids, I recommend the $5 one from Five Below, and then maybe the $50 one if y'all want to spend that kind of money. But I mean, it's still controllable, it just doesn't have that good turn one direction. But it seems like all the boats have an issue more so one direction than the other. But let's get out the final and last boat, the one I modified, and let's see if there's anything different or if it changed anything by me putting that bigger motor in it. All right, so one thing off the bat with my modified one, it is quite louder than what the stock ones are. It doesn't sound healthy, but we're gonna try it anyways. So I'm just gonna do the same thing of just drop it down in there. And like I said before, this boat here, I modified myself. I also resealed myself to try to keep it from leaking. Oh, it seems heavier. It seems a lot heavier. I think my motor mod actually might have made this thing slower. But it's also heavier with a bigger motor. And it seems to be sitting down in the water a little bit better there. We're gonna see how far out we can take it. Here it comes back. Now, I will say this. I haven't done much with this one other than upgrade the motor and worked on the servo a little bit, but the turning, like the left turn and then the right turn, are about equal with this one, which is kind of shocking to me. One thing I want to do is I want to try to get like a semi drive-by to see if it's actually squirting that. Yep, it's squirting the water out the side. So it's cooling the motor as well still. Man, these little, I don't know. This little boat right here is just a whole lot of fun. Also on these controllers, I know with the shuttle and with the Atom, they do have a little warning sensor in it that tells you whenever the battery starts getting low so you can try to get it back to you. Look there, I'm about center of the lake right now. I still got good control with it. I'm surprised it hasn't flipped yet with the way that I'm turning it. The steering's a little bit sensitive. There will be a link in the description down below where you can get these boats from. And I just want to say thank y'all for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if y'all enjoyed this one. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Have a good one.